Now, going back to our earlier discussion about the ACCC and the intention focused on the college in those days, the politics of healthcare must now be a real fact of life for the President and the Council. Did you find it so in your term?
Yes. Before I joined Council, there had been a policy that the college would stand aside from politics. But by the time I had joined Council, that attitude had changed, and we've become very much more strongly involved with political engagement. Of course, not at a political level, because we are totally apolitical and must be and always will be, and that applies to Australia and New Zealand federally and to state levels as well. But we do have a legitimate interest in healthcare as a broad field, and in surgical care particularly. So we routinely engage with hospitals and health departments in the form of membership of advisory committees, and we have been very involved in the recent major national reforms, the development of the National Registration and Accreditation Scheme, and we had a lot of engagement with the National Hospital and Health Reform process that the federal and state governments have been involved in the last 2 years. So we have made submissions and had many meetings to try and ensure that the voice of surgeons and surgical standards are upheld.
And with the outcomes of those recent debates, do you feel that the college's views have been heard and that there's been satisfactory outcomes from your point of view?
We are being heard. Satisfactory outcomes would be a matter for debate. In the National Health and Hospitals Reform Commission, we were certainly heard, but our view that the whole reform process would have been enhanced by a single national funding body with the leverage to introduce real reforms was not the way it has turned out, at least up until the present time. But we will continue to engage.
And it's not likely to be a debate that's going to end soon?
Certainly not. Well, there will be no end to the need for engagement with our political leaders.
Now, in terms of internal communication in the college, providing information to and maintaining a dialogue with your fellows, what's been done there in your term?
We have a newsletter called Surgical News, which is a publication that's produced 10 times a year and is a very strong communication tool. It has editorial comment from the President and Vice President and others, news articles, advertisements about scholarships, fellowships, scientific meetings, great deal of interesting content, and that's very well received by the fellowship. Most people read it. We also have an electronic communication called Council Highlights, which is sent by email to all fellows immediately after each council or executive of council meeting, which is quite a brief communication but keeps people up to date, and it gives them points of contact if they wish to discuss anything further. And of course there's our scientific publication, the Australian and New Zealand Journal of Surgery. I've been an editor for more than 20 years and recently one of the senior editors. The journal has undergone a reinvention and rejuvenation under the current editor-in-chief. The impact factor has improved. The content of it is very interesting and very well received, and it's a great success story.